and good day to Dr. Saiful. I am Dewi Masitah Binti Zaeni with metric number 279636. Will present about the analysis and discussion for the research that has been done, which is comparison on the effectiveness between online learning and physical learning towards student in INASIS MISN. In the analysis part, I'm using 4 different analysis, which is descriptive analysis, validity and reliability, correlation coefficient, and lastly, pair sample t-test. In the descriptive analysis, I want to know about my respondent demographic information. In terms of gender, we can find that majority of a respondent is female student, that include 68.9%. For semester, student from semester 6 is the highest respondent compared to other semester. For your information, the respondent for this study must from semester 3 and above, as all the students from this semester had experience in both learning method. In terms of electronic device, all respondents has the access of electronic device. However, their internet span were different with each other. The highest internet span by the respondent is between 7 until 8 hours per day. Lastly, the internet speed over 60% students get average internet speed with 100 Mbps until 249 Mbps. Next is validity and reliability test. There are many types of validity. However, for this research, it is a construct validity. Thus, the validity of the measurement item was assessed by using the Pearson correlation. The general rule for validity using Pearson is that the calculated value must be greater than critical value. Thus, in this study, the value of Pearson correlation coefficient must be greater than 0.195. According to the table, most indicator was valid and statistically significant for both learning methods. Next, in terms of reliability, we use the Cronbach alpha to test the reliability of the indicator. The general rule of thumb is that a Cronbach alpha must be 0.7 and above. According to the table, the value of Cronbach alpha for course content and interactivity is reliable and considered as better as the value is greater than 0.8. Meanwhile, the value of Cronbach alpha for assessment, evaluation, and feedback also reliable and good. Next, we test the strength of variables with each other by using correlation coefficient. Refer to the table here, the result indicate that all variables are intercorrelated with each other. The correlation before COVID-19, all variables has positive moderate correlation. However, the correlation during COVID-19 shows all variables has positively low correlation with each other. To compare the effectiveness of learning method between face-to-face and online learning, we use the pair sample t-test. For course content, most of students agree that physical learning is more effective than online learning. This was shown by the highest value on mean before COVID-19 compared to during COVID-19. The value also was statistically significant as the p-value is 0.00, which is less than 5%. Next, in terms of interactivity, the result showing that interactivity before COVID-19 is higher than online learning. The mean difference is 1.298 and was statistically significant as the p-value is less than 0.05. This is because student and teacher can connect with one another in the classroom, which make the learning process become more memorable and the purpose of learning is not forgotten. In terms of assessment, evaluation, and feedback, again, most of the students agree that face-to-face learning is more effective than online learning. The result in the table illustrates that mean value before COVID-19 is higher compared to online learning. The mean difference is 0.580, also showing statistically significant, as most of the factors that influence student academic performance were effectively more in physical learning. Most of students get a better academic performance compared to online learning. The mean difference also showing a statistically significant with the p-value of 0.000. In conclusion, from the analytical part, all the research objectives were successfully obtained. Firstly, factors that influence the academic performance is course content, interactivity during the learning process, and assessment, evaluation, and feedback. This indicator or factor was statistically significant as all factor is valid and reliable. Next, the most significant factor that are effective is interactivity of student and teacher during learning process. It was illustrated by the higher mean value compared to other indicators. Thus, to making learning process more effective, the educator must focus on student interactivity. And lastly, we can conclude that the best and effective learning process for students is physical learning before COVID-19 compared to online learning, as mean for all indicators were higher on physical learning. Thank you.